another round of. So today, what I wanted to, last time we spoke about, how to get the CV together, get a little bit of LinkedIn. We talked a little bit about how to get people's attention. But today, I just want to focus more on what do you say when you get their attention? What do you say when you go to the interview? A little bit about interview, not too much. That's a different session. But today it's more about influencing people to connect with you, to give you their time, their attention on social media, especially on LinkedIn, which is the platform that I specialize in. So I'm going to share my screen with you and we can get started. And of course, you can drop your questions in the chat, and at the end, I'll address all of them. You are my last call, so I don't have anything after. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes. Quite good.
Okay, awesome. So one of the questions that I get a lot is, okay, great, but who do I approach, right? Maybe you don't suffer from the same sort of lack of enthusiasm, but the more you advance in your career, I think the less you have idols, the less people you admire, because you get so, disappointed in many ways, right? You get so discouraged. When I was young, I had so many idols. I had so many people I admired, authors or teachers, mentors. And the more you evolve in your career, I feel you lose a little bit of that. So encouraging you to stay connected with your mentors, of course, because I think that makes a big difference. So my first question to you would be, and you probably have the same question to me: who do I approach when I'm on social media? Who do I network with? Who do I talk to? Who is going to be listening to me, right? My best advice to you, there are two types of people. One is the future you. So the person who is like you, but just, 3-5 years ahead of you, So it's fairly easy to discover that on LinkedIn. You would have to use the back end of LinkedIn. And I'm happy to record maybe a video about this. It could be maybe just a video I can put on my channel on YouTube, because it's very important to be able to use the tool so that you can identify the future you, but it's the person you want to become. Oh, my dream is to work at Apple. My dream is to work at the United Nations. My dream is to work at Google. So find a person who is perhaps, from Cyprus or from Turkey or from Brazil, in my case, who is working there and who is in the country that you're targeting. Oh, my dream is to live in France, or I want to live in California. So find the person who is there, who is like a little bit ahead of you, maybe 3 to 5 years, not 10 years ahead of you, but something more, approachable, right? Because then you have a real shot at connecting with that person. And I can teach you how to do that on LinkedIn. And the other person you want to approach is your clone. And I have a video for that, and I already created that, and this is in my channel. So it's basically, your clone is a person who is very similar to you. So if I want to find my clone, I will find a Brazilian living in Switzerland who has started her career in the nonprofit at the United Nations, a person who has now, maybe worked as a recruiter or as a career coach, because we would have so much in common. That person would be very inclined to speak with me. So these are the two sort of avatars that you can be approaching if you're in need of connecting with, strategic people on social media. There's another interesting sort of philosophy about who to network with, and it's strong, weak, and dormant ties. So strong ties are your best friends. Weak, They are the people you know from, the, I don't know, the gym or the church or the, they're not really your friends, but you know each other's name more or less. And dormant ties, they are people you used to know, but now you're disconnected because you moved, or because they moved, or because you change jobs, or you change context. And so you disconnected. It's not because you don't like them, it's just because the circumstances just, you know, you don't have anything in common so much. So, what's interesting, there's a lot of research about this, and you can go and find out. I did the research and I discovered that um, the most powerful networkers, so for example, Adam Rifkin is one of them. He's the most powerful networker on LinkedIn. It's not because he has a lot of people connected to him, it's because the people in his network are very strong. They are CEOs, they are CFOs, they're founders and owners of companies, and he knows anybody and everybody who is somebody, right? And so he said, and there's also another interesting person that you may want to read and learn about, Adam Grant. So both of them are Adam Rifkin, Adam Grant. So apparently the people who will help you the most, surprisingly, are not your strong ties, your close friends. It's your dormant ties, the people you used to know, but you disconnected with them over the years. And why is that? It's simply because they have created new networks. They have created new circles. They have started new jobs. They have a new entourage, they have a whole new set of friends, new circle. And because of that, they have more um, they can truly contribute to your job search, to your career development, simply because they know opportunities that you don't know about. Your close friends, even if they want to help you, they cannot, because you guys know the same people, you are in the same circles, so there's no magic there. Okay, that's one thing that you should remember. It's not because they're not trying hard enough, it's simply because they don't know. Yeah, they they're in the same circles as you are, so there's no magic inside your circles, and also there's no magic in your comfort zone, right? So you will have to go outside. So what do you do when you find those people? The first thing is you study them, because when you approach someone and you took the time to read about their story, maybe read their articles, look at their social media, follow them. You can also like what they post, you can read their articles, you can watch their videos, and you can do that on LinkedIn under See All Activity, and that's a section on the profile, the main profile of anyone, really, anybody who is active on LinkedIn. Even those who are not so active, you can see there's going to be a section called See All Activity. This is my LinkedIn profile, by the way. I took a screenshot today, and you will have two main areas. When you click here in this See All Activity, you will have all activity, all the posts, everything I liked, everything I commented on, everything that I did on LinkedIn. It's all going to be there. And then there's going to be another section with just my posts. So the things that I have personally myself posted, what's really important to me, right? Not just what I liked. And then you even have another one just for articles. So I write articles on LinkedIn. And of course, the best way for you to approach me would be, hey, I read your article, it was really interesting. Here's another one that is similar, or you know, trying to attract me into the conversation based on what I wrote. I mean, you're gonna have a lot more traction with that than just asking me, hey, how was your day? I don't know you, why should I tell you, right? So The other thing I like to do is to look at people's channels on YouTube. A lot of people have YouTube channels and they put a lot of information, and YouTube is the fastest way to intake a huge amount of information, within a few minutes, right? If you watch a video of a person, you can look at their language, body language, vocabulary, but I mean, you can understand what maybe their accent, or maybe the keywords that matter to them. You can see so much when you're able to visualize the person, right? You can even see what matters to them, what are the topics that they keep talking about, and um, how many likes or views or subscribers they have, so that you can have an idea of how significant that person is, right? And one thing that I think is important to remember is, LinkedIn is the place where professionals meet, but Twitter is the place where professionals have fun. Okay, so I wouldn't spend too much time on Facebook and Instagram or TikTok or whatever. If you're looking for a job, these are the platforms. If you're looking for influencers, if you're looking for trendsetters, if you're looking for thought leaders, if you're looking for content, I would say these are the places you want to spend time on. And of course, Google. You can always Google these people. Now, it all depends on what you do, right? If you're a web designer, or a photographer, or a stylist, if you work in fashion, then of course you want to be on Instagram. But or if you're a developer, you want to be on GitHub, you want to be following those open source projects, you want to be on the platforms that are relevant for you. But I mean, this is just my take on how you can quickly absorb information about people that you're planning to approach. So how do you get their time and attention is my next um, how do you manage to get them to answer to you? How do you manage to get them to even open your message? They don't know you. These people are busy, they have lives, they have families. Why would I spend my time on you rather than on somebody that I know? um, so one thing that has worked really well for me, my clients, it's the 3 C's. So this is a method that I created that is pretty simple and easy to remember. So the first thing you want to do when you're approaching someone is start with a compliment. Now, sometimes you have a limitation in terms of the characters you can use. So you will have to use your space wisely. Compliments will establish that you're not a threat, that you're not there to compete, that you recognize their career, and you're uh, not trying to how can I say, yeah, that you're honoring their career, that yes, you have an amazing background, yes, you did so many things in your life, and I'm here, I'm very happy to recognize this and to admit it. I have no problems in voicing it out. So I think it's an important step. The other step is the commonality. So it's important that you establish with your target, the person you're targeting, it's important that you tell them we are the same. Why? Because again, there's a lot of research about this, but this is a really fast way to create rapport, to build rapport with someone you don't know, is establishing the fact that we are the same. Oh, we worked for the same company, or maybe we live in the same city, or we volunteered for the same organization, or maybe we went to the same school, or we're in the same industry, or we're both looking for a job. So three three commonalities are really important. One is not enough unless you don't have space for enough characters. Four is too much. You don't have to go that far in establishing, trust and building rapport. But three is really ideal. And so you do that simply because, the safest person for you to be with is yourself. So you will be hanging out with people that look like you, talk like you, dress like you, and it's just human nature. So we're going to tap into that. Contribution is the next step, which means you don't take value before you add value. What do I mean? So, for example, hi Rebecca. Wow, what a great seminar last night. It was fun. It was, I learned a lot. Thank you for sharing these insights. By the way, you and I have studied the same thing. You and I also, I don't know, have been in the same volunteer group or whatever. Um, I see that you're very active in this cause or this. Perhaps we belong to the same group on LinkedIn or anyways. I mean, it could be simple things. You and I are also. I like to use nationalities. If somebody is also from Brazil, or maybe we both speak French, or we both speak Portuguese, and then when you have those three commonalities established, you could say something like, "Hey, here's a cool event that's happening next week. By the way, I have a discount voucher." Or, "Here's a nice ebook. I downloaded this ebook for myself. It's something that I think you would enjoy. Here is my contribution. The other day I was giving a talk, and this girl offered her help to manage my social medias, posts, and I thought, why not? This is very easy to say yes. I never met her, I never saw her, but she approached me, honoring my career, establishing a few common points with me, and then offering to help me for free. Of course, I'm not going to take free work. I'm very conscious and ethical, but I felt very, inclined to give her my time and my attention. And this is something that happens. You can build that really fast. I mean, it takes one email, right, or one text chat. So, like I said, the compliment is the first one, but it's got to be authentic and it's got to be specific. Don't just say I'm great. You have to tell me why, so that I believe in it. Otherwise, I'm gonna feel like it's just a copy paste, and people will smell things that are not authentic. We are in a day and age where there's a lot of automatism, and everything seems to be a bit of a yeah, people just don't take the time uh, to invest in relationships as much, because it's so easy to jump to the next one. So being authentic, I think, and being very thoughtful in your compliment will matter. And you can couple that with advice seeking, because you have achieved so much. You could be, uh, you could have amazing insights for my career. You could be, guiding me in my next steps. You could be, the person that I look up to, and this is very powerful. People like to be in that position, of saviors of your careers, or helping you decide on your future. So commonalities, like I said, it has to be three. Drive your target to trust you, and remember that the person we trust the most is ourselves. So making them feel like we're the same. That's very powerful. The other thing I feel works well, like I said, is the irresistible invitation to contribute to your career, the contribution that you will make to them, whether it's come and have a, I don't know, a coffee with me, and of course you pay for the coffee and you don't take more than like 45 minutes of their time, or let's have a chat on Zoom, or come and give a talk to me in my community, or my colleagues, my classmates, my peers. That's a way to contribute to their career, but it's not always easy. The contribution is tricky, because you need to find out, what is that person looking for, right? One thing that you should remember is that on LinkedIn, everybody's selling. everybody's looking for something. Everybody's a little bit desperate. Maybe you're looking for a job, but other people are looking for clients. Founders are looking for investors. Maybe they're also looking for co-founders. No one is there just for the fun and just, for because they're altruistic. I think everyone has second intentions on LinkedIn. And so there's no shame in discovering, why is my target here? What is that person trying to get out of LinkedIn? And can I contribute to that? But again, I would say try to make the conversation come out of the chat as soon as possible, to make it a Zoom call, to take it to WhatsApp, to make it a coffee or lunch, because you don't want to be chatting too much back and forth. That's a bit of a waste of time for everybody. So you want to quickly give them a call to action, let's schedule a Zoom, because that's where you can really get value. Once you are in front of them, so once you have the chance to meet with these people that you're targeting, these are the tips that I have, right? So don't overshare. um, so I see that a lot when people are talking with headhunters, right? I feel like they tell them a lot more than they were asked. So if I ask you, how much would you like to make in this new role, don't tell me how much you are making currently. The question is how much you would like to make. And so I don't need to know that you're making this much, that you have a mortgage to pay, that you're going through a divorce, because all of this is data that I'm going to use against you. So be careful and just really answer what the person is asking, um, because you're not yet friends. And quite frankly, there's no such thing as friends when it comes to networking. I mean, you have to be cautious, right? So I think that the higher up you go and the more successful you become in your career, the less you will be able to be yourself. You will always have to have guards on what you say, because everything you say can be used against you. Everything you write can be used against you. So even if you're on WhatsApp, I would be always very cautious. Everything can be screenshot, and you want to be, everything you write down, you want to be writing down with the clear understanding that it could one day be shared with the world, right? So answer only what is asked, keep the mystery going, don't justify yourself. What that means is, I don't want you to convey any insecurity. So I don't know, for example, um, I'm in this situation because my boss didn't like me, so he decided to fire me, even though he didn't have anybody to replace me with. I mean, that's way too much information, and it's making me feel like I have now the yeah I will, unfortunately, this is how it works. I will lose respect as a recruiter for the candidates who will open too much, who will justify, who will explain, who will give me too many reasons why they're in the current situation they are in. So if you don't have a lot of pride about, why is it that you're unemployed currently? Why is it that you're free? Why is it that you're not in a job right now? Just let them know, it was my choice to leave. I'm in control of this process now. I'm shopping around. I decided to start a new career, be in a new industry, be in a new country. You don't have to explain all the background, for that. Don't reveal everything like I just explained. Not playing your hands too early just to fill in the silence. When there's a silence, just I don't know, just enjoy the silence, and it's okay to take time. If I ask you a question that you don't know the answer to, it's okay to take 30 seconds of, okay, let me think about it, and be quiet on the call, and then come up with something smart. And by the way, don't ever take a call that is unplanned, unscheduled. Somebody calls you and it's not planned, and it's a recruiter or it's a hiring manager for an interview, you tell them, listen, I really want to speak to you. Thank you for calling me, but can you call me same time tomorrow, or can you call me in 1 hour, so that you get the chance to prepare for this conversation. You can never enter a room, a call, you can never engage with someone that you're not planning to that you haven't planned for. It would be really the best way to shoot yourself in the foot. I don't advise it. So I also like when you let people discover gradually who you are, making sure um, to keep them interested in you, So that's why oversharing is not the best strategy. So one answer at the time, one layer at the time, um, asking questions, right? So a lot of my clients will ask me, what do I say when I'm in front of a stranger, and I'm having this networking opportunity? It's kind of terrorizing. I don't know this person. What am I supposed to tell them? So the best thing for you is to two things, right? Gathering data, asking the questions, being the one who's asking. Why? Because that will allow you to stay in control of the conversation. If you want to be in control of a conversation, any conversation, be the one asking the questions. And also stay in the concepts. Don't go into specifics. So I always give the same example, but I think it helps understand what I'm talking about. So if I say to you, I love to go to Asia on holiday because I eat great food and I meditate and it's beautiful weather. I mean, all of these are big general concepts that everybody would agree on. It's not hard to say yes to that. But if I tell you, I love to go to Asia because when I go to Thailand and I'm in Bangkok, I have this restaurant. I love it because they serve this amazing papaya salad. It's so delicious and it's cheap. You should try it. You could easily tell me, okay, that's great. What's the name of the restaurant? And then I'm trapped because I'm not going to remember. I'm under pressure in the middle of an interview or a conversation that you know I'm not comfortable in that space, so I'm not going to be in control of the conversation. After that, what's going to happen is you're going to take the conversation, you're going to be leading the conversation, you're going to be the one in control, and that's when I lose my chance to drive, and that's not great. Getting another name, so people tend to ask me, okay, I'm going to have a conversation with a complete stranger, what should I get out of it? So all you need to get from it is another name from another stranger that he or she would advise you to speak with. Getting another, contact, an email, a phone number. Okay, I had a great time with you. Thank you for your time. Is there anybody in your network that you think I should speak with? I mean, that's a pretty easy thing to ask for, and I think you should. And that way you will continue to have meetings with strangers until the magic happens, because the magic will happen outside of your circles. Make them want more. So one thing that's really funny, I discovered this a few years ago. You know, getting the job you want has a lot of parallels with getting the man you want or the woman you want. So I read a book from a relationship coach called Matthew Hussey, and it's called Getting the Man You Want. And I saw that there were so many parallels between getting the man you want, seducing the person, versus getting the job you want, seducing the hiring manager. And in some ways, I mean, we're playing the same game. We're influencing people. We're trying to get into their head, under their skin. So one thing that I think works really well is to not be needy, not be desperate or too excited, because then you're going to chase people away. So you never go too hungry to meet those people. You know what I mean? You never go too excited to because we feel that energy, and we will reject that. If I'm in a position to help you, and I feel that you're really excited or really desperate, I don't want to deal with that kind of energy. So normally what works really well is to come forward and then go and disappear for a week and then come back the next week or 2 weeks later. Be light, be casual, be easy, be short in your texts. Nobody wants to read, 2 paragraphs of text messages, especially if it's instant messaging. If it's in an email, maybe, but even emails, I would keep them short because people are busy. And so striking the balance, it's really a dance between too much space and then too little space, because you know that the more a product is available in the market, the more it circulates, the more the price goes down. It's just basic economics. Okay, so you don't want to be too available. Leaving on a high, what does that mean? I feel that sometimes, you have those amazing conversations with very inspiring people, and you feel so connected to them, and they're fun, and the conversation is amazing, and you end up taking a lot of their time. I would say for a first conversation, you cannot take more than 45 minutes of anybody's time, because, I mean, you're still a complete stranger. And please make sure to pay for the coffee or the tea that you're offering. And if it's Zoom, fine, you don't need to pay for it. But make it really easy for them. Leaving on a high means leaving when the conversation is great. Listen, I loved talking with you. This was so inspiring. You gave me so many tips and nuggets, and I'm going to do my homework, and I'll come back to you when I've done my research. But now I'll let you go, and I'll get back to my homework, whatever it is. You don't want to be holding their you don't want to hold them with you until the conversation starts to go down, because when it goes down and it starts to become, you feel the person just wants to hang up and get on with their life, and then you can be sure you will never meet them again. Don't take more than 45 minutes of anybody's time on a first meeting, because that will give you maybe the chance to meet them again, to be missed, to be, oh wow, I had such a great time. Too bad we didn't have enough time. Next time we'll schedule a longer meeting. Maybe we'll schedule a lunch, or maybe we'll, finally manage to meet in person. But I think it's very important that you leave on a high, so you get uh, so you put all the chances on your side, and you are you have the possibility to meet again, becoming their friends, right? So I said we don't have friends. Sometimes we do, but I'm a bit skeptical. I realized that networking, um, the more you will climb the career ladder, the more you will have connections and people who will um, help you because you help them, but it's not really a friendship. It's like, I will watch your dog when you're on holiday, and you can watch my cat when I'm on holiday, kind of. It's an agreement more than a friendship, right? This is the anyways, this is the way I see it. You can disagree. Can I trust you? The first thing people think about when they meet you, there's 3 things. Can I trust you? Can I respect you? And do I like you? These are the 3 questions that people will be asking themselves, even if it's unconsciously, but it's in everybody's mind when you first meet somebody you don't know. So, trust, how do you build trust? If you want to speed up trust, you will try to show vulnerability, because if you show vulnerability, I'll be open to be the guardian of your secret, right? Oh, I'm a cancer survivor. Oh, I just went through a divorce. My child has special needs. My dad is an alcoholic. All these are, valid vulnerabilities, and they will help you connect with people faster. Okay, I'm not saying you should um, capitalize on the victim or victimization aspect of your life, but I'm just saying that these dramatic, events in your life can probably be of use at some point in your career. Can I respect you? People respect resilient people who are able to bounce back. Despite the fact that I was born in a humble family, and I was, an immigrant all my life, and I didn't have the luxury to go to university and just study. I had to also work in parallel, despite the fact that whatever I was. I don't know, I had to battle a lot of health issues, or despite all that, I made it, and here's the proof, right? I'm standing tall on my career. I have an award, I have a company, I have whatever it is. I'm a board member. So people will respect you if you prove to them that you have overcome obstacles. Okay. I was running a marathon with one leg, whatever it is, you will always get people's respect. But not, again, this is not about victimization. This is about bouncing back. Victimization is boring, and that's not the best strategy. We don't care about your problems. We care about how you overcame these issues. So let's be really pragmatic here. Do I like you? How do you speed up likability? There's a funny story for this one. So there's a psychologist in London called Raj Perso, and he did a lot of studies about the art of seduction, so why people are attracted to other people. Um, so he ran a few tests, and I will invite you to watch his podcast, but and I'm happy to send it to you. But one of the things that he was mentioning in his video, and I read about it. I don't know if you know Giacomo Casanova. He was this big seductor, and he was very famous amongst the ladies, for basically seducing anyone that came his way. And one of the things he did once, he went to a cafe in Venice, and he saw this beautiful woman, and he said, I really want to be, I really want to be her lover, right? So she didn't give him any attention whatsoever, but he knew. Well, he went and he studied her, right? And he discovered she was an actress, and she had a speech impediment. She could not speak properly. She couldn't say the letter R. So she had a problem with the letter R, and I mean it's a common speech impediment, and basically, but she was an actress, so it was a bit of a problem to be honest, because how can you? And at the time, an actress was not like shooting movies; they were on top on stages in theaters, right? So she was not able to perform plays because of her speech impediment. So he went, Casanova went out of his way, and in one night, actually, after he met her, he wrote, because he was an author, he was a poet, he was a talented writer. He wrote a play for her, a whole play, a whole book, right? Uh, um, and in the book, there was no word with the letter R in the book. So the whole book was tailored to her, and adapted to her, disability. And then he gave it to her, and of course, she fell in love, right? So why is that? Simply because nobody else did that for her. He was able to leverage and harness and tap into an unmet need. No one ever did this for me. No one ever put in so much effort for me. No one ever offered this. No one ever helped me this way, or told me this, or met me exactly where I am. Nobody took the time to study me this hard. And now I not only like you, I love you for doing that, for taking the time. It takes time, right? This is not something you can do overnight unless you're Casanova. So, working the networking room is the last thing I want to cover with you today. Um, we are not really able to network, but we will soon network again, I hope. And we will travel again, we will hug again. And when we do, this is what I want you to be mindful of. This is a networking room. So you enter here through the entrance. And this is something that I gathered from a book called Captivate, written by Vanessa van Edwards. She's a very talented author that I follow, and she's a behavioralist. I mean, she studies behaviors, right? So I just want you to be mindful of the fact that there are a few things you can do to make networking a lot easier for you. One of them is to not stand at the entrance, not stand when next to the coat hangers or whatever you want to call it, vestiaire, clock room. You don't want to be, next to the food where people are just trying to serve themselves and maybe they're arriving straight from work and they're starving and they just want to help themselves. You don't want to be next to the bathroom. That's not a good spot for that you want to occupy if you want to network in a smart way. But what you want to do is be in the sweet spot. The sweet spot is going to be right in the middle, right after people have entered, dropped their coat, ate, and then they have grabbed their cold drink and they're standing here in the middle with a nice fresh glass of whatever it is. And now they feel ready and they almost feel stupid because they're standing in the middle and nobody's talking with them. And this is when you attack. You want to be close to the host because the host is going to be the center of the party, and whoever is circulating around the host is someone that well, I mean, typically the most valuable people in the room are going to be around the host. And you want to avoid closed circles of friends, um, because these people know each other and they're not here to network, they're here for the free drinks or the food. I don't think it's smart to try to penetrate groups that are not interested in networking. Move on. Don't waste your time, because the smartest thing to do if you're going to a networking event is to first go on your own, right? And then not hang out with people that are not interested in meeting people, right? So one thing that I do, I sit. I enter, I drop my coat, I eat if I'm really hungry, I grab a drink. If I have to go to the bathroom, I do that. And then I sit down and I observe the behavior. I observe the room. I try to identify who are the hot spots, who are the people that everybody's trying to talk to, who is the host, because sometimes it's not always obvious. And I try to identify who I would like to speak to and what do I need to do to be strategic about it. So once I have the strategy in my head and I have, and of course, I'm very active on LinkedIn. So what I'm going to do is identify the faces of people I see there, and I can remember their faces sometimes, and I can look them on LinkedIn and be like, oh yes, that's this is the founder, or oh, and so when I go to them, I already know their names. I already know where they work. I already know their titles. And that's very powerful because they look at me like, oh, have we met? And I'm like, yeah, maybe. But in any case, I mean, you're very well known. You're very well established. Of course, everybody knows you. So that also reinforces, the whole thing about compliment, the 3 C's that you want to bear in mind. The the things I would not, so I would, how can I say, I would warn you, what not to do. You can do a lot of things, but um, these are the things I would say. Be careful. Don't ever say in a networking event that you're unemployed. People will not be interested in talking with you if they know that, right? You can say you're a consultant, you're a freelancer. You can say whatever, you're shopping around, you're looking at your options, but don't just, put it out there, you're unemployed. I had business cards when I was unemployed, and it just had my name, my address, my photo. I have it here actually. Like it had my photo, my name, what I was up to, because I was always a career coach. You don't have to be working for a firm to be a professional. You can be a professional even without a job. And then I had my email, phone number. So I would say, if you feel like you need a business card to help with your confidence, then do one, even if you're unemployed. Um, don't say to people, I'm not even sure why I came here. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm not in control. I'm just being, trying my chance, trying my luck. No, we are always in charge, right? Um, you're always in control. So that's important. The one thing I realized is, I don't ever want to be the person answering the questions in a networking meeting, and that's really something that it's dangerous. Sometimes you can try to be aware of it because it's subtle, right? When you realize that you're the one answering the questions, something is wrong with your strategy. You want to be the one asking the questions in any gathering. Too much eating, too much drinking can be dangerous. That's not why you're there. Um, I would say, even if the meeting is terrible, just give it at least 1 hour. Don't be in a rush to leave, because sometimes the magic will happen at the very end of the meeting when they're cleaning up and when the host is there alone and nobody's trying to compete for their attention. Or maybe at the very beginning of the meeting, early before the meeting starts. I usually get there early and then I just stay maybe 1 hour. I get, like, I don't know, 5, 6 business cards depending on my goal for the meeting. And then I go home, right? Um, don't come with your friend, because if you go with your friend, you're going to stay with your friend. You're not going to meet new people. It doesn't make sense to go to a networking meeting with a friend. You're going to be missing the opportunity to speak to new people. And don't come in black, because then you're going to be another black dot in the room. Always dress in visible colors like red, pink, yellow, white, or light blue, or even purple. Royal blue is also very nice, but don't go for brown, green, and black. These are the colors that are that have the lowest conversion rate. They sell very bad. So when I go to a networking meeting, I'm always wearing my red jacket, and it's very powerful because I'm the only red dot in the room. And you know what? People may not remember my name, but they're going to remember the girl in the red jacket. And that's all for today. Thank you. Can you hear me?
So thank you, Rebecca, for coming again. So if you have any question, you can ask whether opening your microphone or writing on the chat. Mirza, I think you have a question. You can
Yes.
open your mic and ask your question.
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you very poorly, but I can hear you.
Give me a second.
Can you type it in? Because it's very bad.
Abdullah, it's hard to hear you. Could you please type it on the chat so that we can
Can you
answer
hear me
your
now
question?
better?
Yeah,
Or
it's better, I think, right now.
Yeah.
okay. Yes, good evening, Hodam.
Hello.
That was really nice. The lecture, I am absolutely in love with the lecture. Like, it's so many good points, and I'll take it to heart. Now, I just want to ask that when we approach people on LinkedIn, what is the kind of mindset that we need to have? Is, for example, when I'm talking to this person who I randomly hit up on LinkedIn, what should be my goal? Is to just get a contact, or
Well, oh, it depends, right? Maybe your goal is to get a job. Like I said, everybody's selling, right? Maybe it's to get a client or to get an investor. So you're asking me if you, because you can have access to the email of anybody on LinkedIn if they're connected to you. It's in the contact details. So as long as you're friends with them, then you have access to their email. So that's pretty powerful. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
There's a question in chat.
So where do you draw the line between vulnerability and oversharing? That's a really good question. Thank you. Well, it's a like I said, oversharing comes when you start to answer questions or disclose information that was not really asked of you. And I think it's a fine line. It's not easy, but I've seen a lot of candidates overshare, and that never helps them. So I like to be challenged, by the candidates, even if I'm the one in control of the conversation, because I'm the one asking the questions, because I'm the one interviewing, and that's why interviewing is so scary, because you're not in control at all. So I would say, try to strike the balance. If they are sharing also some of their personal stories, then you have space to do the same, but it's not always obvious in the beginning. I don't know if people will open up from the start. I think it takes a little bit of time to build that trust.
Anyone has a question? I think there is no question. So I think because you already mentioned everything. Oh, there's a question in there.
How do you approach
Yeah.
alumni working for a specific company, for example? Oh yeah, so that's a really good question. Thank you so much. What I think I should do briefly is go on my LinkedIn and show you this really quickly so that you can see what I mean by. So 1 second, okay? I'm just opening here my LinkedIn, and it's also in the video, and I'll send my presentation to Kanir, and he can share with you the link. So here is the search, right? This is the home, right? This is LinkedIn home. If you go to the search and you just put enter, then you go straight to the back end of LinkedIn and you choose people. And so let's say I want to, like I said, discover who is like me. There's two avatars, the ones who are my clones and the ones who are the future me. So I can go to all filters and I can decide I want to speak with people who are based in Switzerland. I want to speak with people whose past company was United Nations. That's where I used to be. I want to speak with people who in their title, they have the word recruiter or talent, and you always put the or in capital and then show results. So I have 11 people here in Switzerland who have very similar profiles to myself. And if I approach them, they'll be very likely to speak to me because we're the same and they could actually be my next best friends. And if I reset all the filters and I decide that I want to speak with my future self, and I go to all filters, and I decide that, my dream is to be in Switzerland and my dream is to be at Google. And if I'm at Google, I would love to be a recruiter there. And I also want to make sure I include in my search the word Brazil, maybe people who have worked or lived in Brazil. No, let me put it with S, still nothing. Maybe if I put, let's see, wait. Did I say Google, Switzerland? I said recruiter. Maybe if I put talent, yeah, recruiter or talent. to keep the search a little wider. Talent, sorry. Show results. No, I guess I will have to take Brazil out. 22 results for people who are in Switzerland working for Google. And the keyword here is recruiter or talent manager. Now, the problem is that I couldn't find any common ground with them. Let's try to change the company. Perhaps, I don't know, let's say Credit Suisse. My dream is to be at Credit Suisse. And maybe here I will find people that have the keyword, aha, interesting. By the way, I know this guy anyways. So this guy is in Switzerland. He is a recruiter or talent manager. He has the word Brazil in his profile. And yeah, so, and we have quite a few things in common, but you know, he is already ahead of me because he's in the company of my dreams and he's been there for 2 years. So this is the target that I can approach. If you don't want to be too restrictive, maybe change a little bit the location. You don't want to put Switzerland. I mean, you can put Switzerland, but let's just make it a bit larger. Switzerland and also United States, for example. And then you will have a lot more options. Oh, one more, not much more. She's open to work. That means she just left the company where she is now. She has a great background. Anyways, I'll add her. I'm interested and curious about her for many reasons, right? Because there's a great chance that we could be, you know, good friends, you know, and in my video, I will show you exactly how I do it live. And it's really cool because on the video, you will see that the person responded immediately. So it really reinforces the theory. And yeah, and you can see also what kind of message I would write to them. So that also gives you a few ideas. So I'll send that over to you, Kenya.
Thank you so much again. Is there any other question? So I think this is the end of the presentation, I guess.